Guys, we won. PlayStation has finally announced their next showcase. They missed 2022, and I was really upset with them over that, man. We all want to see the newest hot stuff that's coming out. And I'm sitting here waiting, feels like for the rest of my life, for PlayStation to come outside. Let's go on to the actual webpage, man. Let's read what's going on here. Bam. So you're invited. PlayStation. I love how they act like they invited me specifically. You're invited. PlayStation Showcase broadcast live next Wednesday, May 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. All right, so it's almost time to see what's next. PlayStation Showcase broadcast live next week, May 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. British time. The show will run over an hour, which is interesting, but we'll keep going. Focus on PS5 and PSVR2 games in development from top studios from around the world. Expect a glimpse at several new creations from PlayStation Studios, as well as spell-binding games from our third-party partners and indie developers. The live broadcast starts next Wednesday, May 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube and Twitch. Hope to see you there. And then they got some stuff over here for content creators. We don't really need to go into that. All right, so let's talk about this, guys. We've been waiting for this for a minute. Like I said, I remember a lot of us being like very upset that we didn't get to see anything for them last year. It does look like they're going to remedy that. Now, for the most part, we don't really know a lot about what's down the pipeline for Sony or PlayStation. I would say that we're probably going to get a lot more of a glimpse on that, because if you guys remember correctly, at the beginning of the PlayStation 4, they pretty much told us everything we needed to know for the whole generation for the most part. Now, obviously, there's probably going to be stuff there that is coming out soon, coming out late. I'm kind of curious if they're going to do that. If they're going to jump out the window and do what they did last generation, where they're just openly coming out saying, yo, these are what the games you guys are going to be playing on the PlayStation 5. I would say we'll see factions for sure. We'll definitely see factions. That game has been in development for a little bit at this point. I don't think it was in development till after Last of Us Part 2's story campaign was released. I think probably they were looking at it and then they realized, we could make this its own game. So they went ahead and waited till they finished Last of Us Part 2. We'll see some Spider-Man. I think we'll see some Spider-Man because that's going to be their big game this year. And they'll probably show like some kind of trailer that has Venom in it, because I know that's one of the biggest in titles that they can actually do is show Venom. Venom arguably is just as popular as Spider-Man. So there's a reason they put Venom in this game. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think we're seeing that. I think Ghost of Tsushima is still a little ways off, because I think the pandemic probably pushed it 6 months to a year. But we might see that. I don't know. But see, here's the thing. They said, several new creations from PlayStation Studios. That's interesting. That's an interesting statement. Choose of wording. And then what's interesting too is the PlayStation VR2 games. So I'm kind of curious how many PlayStation VR games are going to be here and how many PlayStation 5 games are going to be here. And they also said third party and indies. So if I were a betting man, I would say you'll see factions here. You will see something else from their new studios here. But I don't think you're going to see a lot of the big heavy hitters that you think it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see those single player games. There might be one or two of those here, or one of them here. But I don't think you're going to show like a vast majority of them. I think for the most part, they're going to stick to these games as a service that they've been working on. And I think that's okay. We know Spider, as long as they just give us like one, because we know Spider-Man's coming. I feel like they give us another one that's slated either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Just give us a little bit of a roadmap. That's all I really ask for them. But you got to show us. You got to show us that factions. That's probably one of the most important things you can show at this point is that factions. There's so many people that want to play factions. It's unreal. And I think if they go through this whole event and not show factions, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a serious problem. But I don't think that's the case. I think you will see factions. Keep in mind, this is over an hour long. That's a while. And 'cause most of the time, these are like 30 to 40 minutes long. Notice it's not called State of Play either. You know, notice it's not called State of Play. It is literally a PlayStation showcase. So that's interesting. But what do you guys want to see? When it comes to me, like I said, I want to see more new games. That's what I want to see. If it is the stuff that they normally show, that's fine. But I do think we're going to see more of those games as a service. That's just me personally. I feel like the bulk of those games have a lot more to show than the other stuff. And not to mention they have all these rumored timed exclusives like Silent Hill, Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid. We'll probably see some of those here. So we are going to see stuff here. I just don't think it's going to be like I don't think Sucker Punch is going to be here. I don't think it's going to be the studios that you guys want here. I think for the most part, you're going to see some games as a service. You're going to see some of these timed exclusive games they have going on. And you're going to see factions. I'm just curious what they end it with. Do they end it with factions? I don't know. I think they'll end it with a new IP that's probably their single-player type of campaign. If they end this game with the games as a service, that's interesting. That's extremely interesting. But I doubt they'll do that. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel. Do you guys think that this is something that we're going to see? I'm kind of curious to hear you guys' opinion on this. I want to know what you guys want, because I feel like at this point, PlayStation is trying the multiplayer thing. Some of you might want to see what they're going to do with multiplayer. Some of you are so loving the single-player, third-person action adventure game. Some of you are going to want to see that. I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. But anyway, this is Gaming Addict. Let's get here, man. I cannot wait to make the review, and we will be reacting to this on the Iron Lords podcast channel next week. Peace.